11-2, Reasoning and Parallel Lines. Corresponding angles and parallel lines. If the corresponding angles formed by two lines and a transversal are congruent, then lines are parallel. So this time we're learning the converse of the previous section. Previously, we were told that if lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent and alternate interior angles are congruent. But in this section, it's telling us if the corresponding angles formed by two lines and the transversal are congruent, then lines are parallel. So here we have corresponding angles. This angle is congruent to this angle. Look at their markings. So if you have corresponding angles congruent, then you know that these lines are parallel. Therefore, we know that A is parallel to B. Okay? These are corresponding. These two angles here, I can name them angle X and angle Y. We know that angle X is congruent to angle Y. They are corresponding angles. If we know that these two corresponding angles are congruent, then we know that these two lines are parallel. So A is parallel to B. A is parallel to B. Next, here we have the symbol parallel means is parallel to. And I've already talked to you about that. If line M is parallel to line N, you would write M parallel to N. Example, justifying parallel lines with corresponding angles. Can you conclude that A is parallel to B? Justify your reasoning. To determine if lines are parallel, we must know that a pair of alternate interior angles or a pair of corresponding angles are congruent. Well, we see these two angles here. Each one have 59 degrees. If I let this one be angle X and this would be angle Y, we know that angle X is congruent to angle Y because they're both 59 degrees. These are corresponding angles. They're on the left side of the transversal. They're both below the two lines. So since corresponding angles are congruent, then yes, we can say that A is parallel to B. So I need to go over here and put my little arrows to indicate that these two lines are parallel because the corresponding angles in this problem are congruent. So if corresponding angles are congruent, you know that lines are parallel. If alternate interior angles are congruent, you know that lines are parallel.